Episode 3. It's been 2 weeks since the incident, and her stepdad had been trying his best to apologize to her. He had brought several gifts, asking her to forgive him, claiming it was the devil's work, but she had turned them down. One Saturday afternoon, she laid on her bed trying to solve the arithmetics she was given at school. Her mom had traveled for one of her numerous business meetings. The door cracked open and her worst fear walked in. "Hi Sandra," he said, grinning. "Dad, what are you doing here?" she asked as she continues to look at her books. "Surprise," he said, stretching a shopping bag towards her. "I went shopping for you," he added. "I never asked you to." She replied coldly. "What is all this?" he asked. His smiling face abruptly changed to a frown. "What is all what?" she replied. "Look, I miss you. You're so sweet," he purred, running his hand over her bare arms. "Get that hand off me," she yelled, brushing his hands off. "What is this? Why the attitude? Would you say you honestly didn't enjoy it?" he said as he grabbed her breast. "Stop it," she screams, standing up abruptly from the bed. "This time I will be gentle. I promise not to hurt you. You're a sweet little girl," he said, walking towards her, his eyes filled with lust. "Somebody help," she screamed at the top of her voice as he pushed her roughly on the bed. "Help," she screamed. Fighting him was a futile effort. A rapist has the power of 10 men put together. She resigned her face as he plunged into her. She just lay stiff, staring at the ceiling with tears rolling down her face as he did his thing. Her mom was back from her trip days later. "Mom, I want to tell you something," Sandra said, limping into the kitchen. Her legs hurt like hell. "Go and study," she replied, stirring the soup on the cooker. "Mom, hear me out. Dad raped me," Sandra screamed. "Really?" she replied nonchalantly. Sandra stared at her mom for a while, not knowing what to expect. Her eyes were heavy and filled with tears. "Mom, Dad raped me," Sandra said again as she burst into tears. "I know you're lying," her mom replied, not even turning to look at Sandra. "Mom, why will I lie about this?" she screamed. "Sandra, look at me. I'm beautiful, I'm hot, I'm sexy, well-proportioned. A figure-8 goddess," Sandra mom said, turning around. "Now tell me, what would my husband be doing with a slim lanky thing like you?" she said, staring at Sandra with disgust. "Mom, why do you hate me this much?" Sandra asked, crying. "Sandra, please go away," she replied, waving her hand at her. Sandra had no choice but to leave, limping out slowly of the kitchen in tears. One day, the unexpected happened. She came back from school hungry, tired. After a long and stressful study section, she alighted from the bus, swung her school pack over her back before walking into the house. As she walked into the sitting room, she noticed her mom, her stepdad, and a man she couldn't recognize sitting on the couch. "Good afternoon," she mumbled greetings while heading for the stairs. "Sandra, come back here," she heard her mom said. "Mom, here I am," she replied, standing in front of her. "Good. Do you see the man here?" she said, pointing to the man sitting opposite her. "Yes, Mom," she replied. She was not blind, for crying out loud. "Good, I'm glad you can see him. He is going to be your husband," her mom said, throwing her off balance. "What?" she exclaimed, not sure she heard her well. "You heard me right," she replied. Her stepdad grinned devilishly. "This can't be," she screamed, staring at the man who seemed to be in his early 40s.